Alright kids. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Now, you were supposed to read up on the death of Jimmy. Let us apply what we have learned. And, let us hurry. These clothes are cramping my style. I was there. I was a murderer. Go ahead kids. Ask me anything.
Fine. I will be blunt. Are you a murderer, preacher?
Yes. But, that word did not apply to me until February 21st in the year 2015. The night Jimmy arrived.
Aren't you known as a lion of the movement? Why do you say that?
Let me say, it is one thing to kill. This I have done more than once and I find no fault with killing. Due to the world we live in, it is sometimes necessary. Ultimately, the difference between a warrior who would kill and a master who would murder is more than simply general sanction of their actions. In fact, a thumbs up from the masses has little to do with it. The distinction is one of intent. If I take life to defend myself or because I must under the service of a greater principle, I have killed. If I do so for any other reason, then the act permanently deprives another of their libertas, for the sake of my own benefit, and I have committed murder. Next question.
What exactly happened that night?
I see you did not read the assignment. Okay, a recap. These are the base facts. Gallows brought someone with him to the party under, you could say, a less than optional invitation. This person had been picked up at the airport. He admitted that he worked for the 1%. But, in the scheme of things, he was young and nothing more than the kitchen help. Even under pressure from primal forces to tell the truth and nothing but, he stated he did not know the rifleman. In truth, no other information was ever uncovered other than that. Those were the facts we knew. Gallows then turned the fate of the man, whom we learned was named Jimmy, over to the tribal chiefs. They met, debated, and voted to give him over to the ferryman to cross the river Styx.
That is really strange. Why was this vote not put before all the people?
I do not know. With something like this, that is not our way. Further, those with no tribe have no representation in such a structure. Gallows decided many things by fiat that night. I almost wanted to order him a scepter. Perhaps he intended it as a sort of test of the community. But, the stakes were too high for such a thing to be left to the sake of social experiment. That is like playing Russian roulette with an infant, to determine its potential aptitude for algebra. Also, I reasoned that he expected the tribal chiefs to respect libertas and discuss their vote with their tribe members. They did not. Instead, they chose to act like prime numbers. Divisible, by this meaning answerable, only to the upright one we call Gallows, and theirselves. This pattern continued throughout the night on many decisions. Finally, I did hear Gallows during some discussion order the tribal chiefs to consult their tribe members before casting another vote, but this was many imperial dictates later. Yes. Your question.
I see, but, preacher, we are at war with the 1%, are we not?
Yes. Absolutely. But, tickle my pickle, who fucking cares? We are the movement. We are always at war. For us, brothers and sisters, that never changes. What is supposed to make us different is that we are not oppressors. Right? We fight oppressors. That means we do not get to take a label, in this case 1%, and use it as our sole justification to take libertas. As far as I could tell, that was the only crime the man had committed. Being 1%. If I am fighting a war against the owners of the Marriott, can you call me a hero of the people if I go in and blow off the head of every wage slave mate who dares to straighten up in my vicinity? Of course not. No dice, there.
Sure, but what if he was part of some operation or plan? Being at war, we could not risk it, I think.
While I see your point, The fact is it ignores both what we did not know and what we could have done. We had many options. We could have done many things short of what we did. Imprisonment until we could have found out more would have been far closer to our fuzzy paradise than the place we decided to go. The ugly truth is that many had power over the one. Rather than act with care, they chose to exploit that power. No more questions from you. Yes, you there.
What was the record of the vote? Did it surprise you?
The vote as given by tribal chiefs was as follows. Hand of Tyr voted for murder. Shadow Seraphim voted for murder. Stitch voted for murder. Naday voted for murder. Hanad voted against murder. Snake Eyes voted against murder. There being no tie, Gallows abstained. On one hand, it did not surprise me. It is no shock to see that those tribes new to the scene are eager to project that they are tough on the 1%. Likewise, it is not surprising that the veteran, warrior tribes are quick to condemn the 1%. What did surprise me is that the tribe leaders of the veteran tribes, with such illustrious reputations, would be so quick to abandon Libertas on such a flimsy excuse.
But, preacher, you did not vote. How is it that you can call yourself a murderer?
Because I have Libertas, and I am free. Thus, being a member of the movement is just as much about responsibility as anything else. In fact, more so. As a free person, surrounded by brothers and sisters, I am responsible for what I do. Of course. But, I am also responsible for what I chose not to do. This is a core principle. To stay neutral while one more powerful bullies one who is weaker is not to do nothing. It is an act to aid the oppressor. Sure, I spoke out for him, as did others. But, the fact remains, as a liberator in the movement I have the responsibility to stop oppression no matter the source, even if it comes from the movement itself. When the movement abandons Libertas, it simply becomes the mob. I had a duty to put myself between Jimmy and the mob. I did not. I failed. His blood is just as much on my hands as those who voted. This is not so much a question of morality, but one of honor.
Preacher, what should they have done next?
If you cannot answer that, I do not think you have been paying attention. First, they should ask if the sentence against Jimmy has been carried out. If not, it should be suspended until a vote can be put before all the people. Second, tribal leaders must talk to their members before voting. Third, major issues should be brought before all the people. Last, they, as free people, must atone. They must admit the mistake. They must honor the fallen. They must comport themselves better. Now, no more questions. I have a treat for you, class. Through research, we will complete the lesson by hearing from Jimmy himself. What better way to bring illumination? While you finish up your notes, here is Stained. It's been a while.